Andreas, all of this talk about Seismic from Dynapac is really exciting.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what it does and how it works?
Well, Seismic is the latest patent-pending innovation from Dynapac that will ensure that the machine always runs at optimum compaction frequency. By regarding the drum and the soil as one dynamic system, several benefits might be achieved from a phenomena called the natural frequency of this drum-soil system.
Okay, so the natural frequency, I'm not quite sure what that means. Can you explain it a little bit more or use maybe an example?
I'll try to. Imagine a child on a swing. You know that if you push the swing at exactly the right time, the motion of the swing will increase. However, if you push the swing the wrong time, the motion will not increase, or it might even decrease, because it's very important to feed energy to this child swing system at exactly the right time to have the motion increasing.
Okay, so push the child at the correct time, the child is going to go higher. So then that transfers to the drum. If the drum hits the ground at the right time, in sequence with the correct natural frequency, then the compaction is more efficient.
Exactly.
I understood correctly. Thank you.
Perfect. Well, and now, since the dynamic characteristics of the soil changes as the compaction work proceeds, and since weak spots have different dynamic characteristics compared to stiffer areas, the soil stiffness needs to be continuously monitored, the optimum frequency calculated and adjusted to accordingly. And as I mentioned before, this is impossible to do manually. However, it can be done with the new improved compaction meter that always comes with the Seismic system. Besides providing the operator with information about how the compaction work proceeds, such as showing CMV values, EV values and so on, the compaction meter also has the ability to sense or feel the dynamic characteristics of the soil, to calculate the optimum frequency, and to feed this information to the machine control unit. And the machine control unit adjusts the frequency accordingly several times every second.
These engineers at Dynapac that came up with the Seismic system are very intelligent, making these things work together and do the real time. It's very impressive.
Well, thank you.
From our side, from the customer side, what benefits should we see?
Well, from our extensive testing and research, we have found several benefits from using the system. We have performed tests both in our own compaction labs, but also in the field. And the first benefit that we saw was that the vibration power can be reduced by approximately 20 to 30%. And this is due to the fact that in most cases the optimum compaction frequency is much lower compared to the fixed frequency used at conventional compaction. This means that running the machine at a too high frequency more or less lets the fire up the chimney instead of contributing to an improved compaction.
And by fire up the chimney, you mean a big waste of energy. The energy isn't going into the compaction process.
Exactly.
Perfect.
And the second thing we found is that the number of passes required to fulfill the compaction requirements can in most cases be reduced compared to conventional compaction. This is due to the fact that with the Seismic system, the machine works in harmony with the soil, and this yields a more homogeneous compaction throughout the lift. Third thing we found is that an overall lifetime fuel consumption reduction of approximately 10% can be expected from this Seismic system. Combined with Eco mode, a fuel saving of approximately 25% can be expected. And again, since the compaction frequency most of the times is lowered compared to the conventional compaction, we also found that the sound levels emitted both to the driver and to the surroundings is lowered. This in turn yields a better working environment. Last but not least, again due to the lower compaction frequency, the wear of the vibration powertrain, that is both hydraulic components and mechanical component, is reduced. This in turn yields a better second-hand value for your machine.
Well, Andreas, that's quite the extensive list of really measurable benefits to the customers. That's really impressive. Thank you very much for taking the time today to talk to us about this and share a little bit more about the Seismic system from Dynapac. It's really going to bring us into a new era in compaction. Thank you.
Thank you very much.